Well, hello strange people. I've been tagged again by Hike with Mike. Link below. This time I have to give you 5 songs that I think define the 1990s. And the first song that I think defines the 1990s is MC Hammer. You can't touch this, or that, or whatever. Can't touch that, can't touch this, can't touch this. Hip hop. First of a few genres of music that appeared in the 1990s. So that'll be my first song. MC Hammer, You Can't Touch That, This or the Other. Beautiful spot this. Right, so my next tune defines the 1990s, comes from another genre of music that appeared, and that is Nirvana's Smell Like Teen Spirit, grunge. Not really my thing, but it definitely defines the 90s. Right, so the next piece of music that defines the 90s is from the Brit invasion, or Britpop. Sort of a genre of music that came just after some old mine buildings there. If they're going to come out, look as though they're being cleared up. The wood's being cleared away from what's left of them. Anyway, so my next genre, as I say, is Britpop, or the Brit invasion. There were a lot of groups vying for top spot in this. Pulp, Verve, Blur, who were one of my particular favourites. But I think this band that I'm about to name now, and the song is probably one of the most iconic of that genre and that era. So my next song and band is Oasis and Wonderwall. Even though I've got to admit it's a good song. So Oasis and Wonderwall. Always nice to see the wild ponies out and about. I like to see them down here in the woods. They're nice up on the moor, but I don't know, there's something a bit more special about seeing them in the woods. Right, so my next defining song of the 90s. I've got 2 daughters, as I've probably said before in the past. And they like this next group. So another of the defining moments of the 1990s was the sudden preponderance of boy groups, boy bands. But I'm going to use this more as a manufactured band sort of statement, because that also happened a lot in the 1990s. And the biggest manufactured band of the 1990s, by an awful long shot, it set up what can only be called a complete and utter phenomenon. To define his song, so I've got to use it. It's the Spice Girls and Wannabe. I had an awful lot of Spice Girls stuff when I was when my girls were younger. When I was younger. No, I was younger, I suppose, but when my girls were younger. So, Spice Girls, Wannabe. Always thought this area just here, all these great big oaks, a lovely camping spot. Problem is it's not, it's about half a mile from the car park now, and it does get quite sort of busy here on nice days. Right, so I'm going to give a couple of dishonourable mentions here. Well, it's not so much the songs, but the genres of the 90s, or what happened in the 90s. One-hit wonders. There were a lot of one-hit wonders in the 90s. Some of them weren't that bad. Just trying to think of the name. Three Non-Blondes was a one-hit wonder. Was it called Yeah, Yeah, Yeah? Something like that. I can play it on the guitar, but I can't remember its name. I never remember the words either. That wasn't a bad song. She's gone on to write, the lead singer has gone on to write songs for Pink and people like that. Which brings me on to the next sort of genre, if you like, where an awful lot of female solo singers came through. There was Christina Aguilera, Broccoli Spears, and they've sort of led the way, for want of another word, for people like Pink to come through, and people like Bouncy, or whatever it's called, to come through. It's not Bouncy, is it? Beyonce come through. So, although I'm not actually going to say any of them are defining moments of the 90s, they certainly worth a mention. But I think, for me, and this is my own personal view, defining song of the 90s, and something else that happened in the 90s, was the resurgence of groups that had broken up before coming back together. And a group that almost made it into my list of classic albums with parallel lines was Blondie. And Blondie released a song in '99 called Maria, which was a huge hit here in the UK and pretty much revived their careers. They're still going now. Debbie Harry's in her 70s. So I think that song, Blossoms Are Beautiful, I think that song can rightly be said to be a defining moment in music in the 90s. So there you go. There are my 5 songs. MC Hammer's Can't Touch This, That, the Other. Blur's Wonderwall. Oasis's Wonderwall. Yeah, I like Blur more. Spice Girls Wannabe. Blondie's Maria. and Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. I don't suppose you'll agree, but that's my choices. Catch you in a mo.